What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I think we've got a pretty solid idea coming at you today. Today I'm going to relook at the Bleacher Draft Report 2020 grades for every team and all the trades that were done. And this was the one written after draft day, so they're not regrading it. I'm just criticizing their past grades to see just how wrong they were, or correct. We will find out. If you do go on to enjoy this, take the like button, punch it straight in the thumb, and I guess that's pretty much it. Let's get into it. Except there is one more thing. I think I've got some pretty nice content potentially coming your guys' way very soon. Should have a little bit more time to make some stuff. And just wanted to know if you guys would be interested in something I've been pretty interested in for a while, the Panini sticker book collections. And right after I punch the mic, I will explain what these are. So these are just the trading cards of the collection, sticker books. Here's some ASMR for you guys. Hearing that cardboard crease across in these headphones. Very nice. But, you've got the checklist that comes in the sticker books, and then we've got future Sixer, Kyle Lowry, bangin' Scottie Pippen's wife, Malik Beasley, number 2 in the MVP race, Nikola Jokic, Jaylen Brown, and Norman Powell, who, honestly, Raptors just throw him in the trade, too. I'd be cool with that. And just so you guys get one last ASMR burst. And then you can hear the cardboard close. Because you can really hear it, doesn't it? But we will, if you guys want to, I can open some packs on camera of the actual stickers, and then I probably wouldn't show on camera me putting the stickers on because it's super tedious and I need a lot more elbow room than I have. But if you guys would maybe want to see, me open them and then see the finished product of the sticker book when it's done, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a good video idea. And after that momentary brain lapse, we're going to move into this content fastly because this is what the video is actually about. And so let's see what this had to say. Also, disclaimer, I am going to have the draft up on my phone, the draft summary, just because I do not remember at all who was drafted in the second round. And I feel like I'd probably get the first round close to right, but second round, not a chance. And these are grades for, I believe, both rounds, so it would behoove me to know that. So they say the Atlanta Hawks got a C+. Looking here at my phone, the Atlanta Hawks, obviously I remember they drafted Onyeka Okongwu. Did they draft anyone else? Not to my knowledge, and if it was, it's probably not anyone of superb importance, sadly. They drafted Skyler Mays. I actually have heard that name. I know about him. I have no idea how he's doing this season, but I knew about him in the draft. A C+ for him, for Okongwu probably, is what they're mainly doing it off of. I have no problem with that. I don't think Onyeka Okongwu set the world alight, but, I think he definitely hasn't been a bust, and he's still got a lot of potential to be a great defensive, just 4 or 5 in this league, depending on how that goes, so C+, can't complain. They gave the Celtics an A-. The Celtics didn't do a ton, except draft Peyton Pritchard, I don't think, because Desmond Bane ended up being a Grizzly. I just punched the bottom of my desk, and if that was loud, it's because I have a ring on. So the Celtics somehow got an A- for drafting Peyton Pritchard. I mean, at pick 26, I think he was taken at. It's definitely a decent value, but an A-, that is honestly pretty high for me. I would give it a B. I know Peyton Pritchard's had a good rookie season, but if you thought an A-, one of the best picks of this draft is Peyton Pritchard, strong disagree from me. The Nets, did they actually make a true pick in the draft. Because I know they traded that one who would have been Sadiq Bey, which is kind of an L in itself. Like, I understand they got back good stuff for it, but not ideal. Their other draft pick was also traded. So I guess it's based off of what they got from trading their draft picks. And I honestly don't know that offhand, and it doesn't say that on this list. So I'll take a B-. I'll take their word for it. Charlotte Hornets A+ for drafting LaMelo. And did they draft anyone else of note? Vernon Carey, actually, I saw his game in the G League. Vernon Carey looks like a ridiculous ball player. He looks like such a mobile big man who's just like a versatile, like almost 3-level scorer, which is really crazy to see at that level. So I would totally agree with the A+, because I think LaMelo, I mean, I'm recording this the day after he broke his wrist, but like he's obviously going to be a pretty successful ball player. I think Vernon Carey for a second-round pick will be really good value for pick. And they also drafted Grant Riller, who I don't know anything about, but I mean, it was pick number 56, so there's not a lot of, high-energy stuff rising on that. So an A+, hell yeah, I would agree with that. The Hornets, I think, actually did a pretty good job this year. Very uncharacteristic of them. We're going to try and start speed running through some of these that aren't, super prevalent. And then I'll just go through and maybe talk about some players who I really thought were steals. The Bulls, they gave a C. Disagree. Patrick Williams, I think, has been a really good pick for them. I mean, looking past the players besides Patrick Williams, in terms of who would actually help the Bulls, like, sure, Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton. I can't even speak English, and it's kind of funny. But, Sadiq Bey, there was a lot of good players, Tyrese Maxey, there was a lot of good players drafted after Patrick Williams, but I think in terms of what the Bulls needed, that starting caliber small forward, I don't think Denny Avdija would have done them better. I think he's someone who either needs the team built around him or needs to be like an important role player, and I feel like Chicago needed an NBA-ready player, and I think Patrick Williams was the closest thing to that. So I would give them a B-, because I don't think they made any other huge picks. The Cavs, a B. I really liked the draft pick of Isaac Okoro. I think they drafted a few other players, or maybe I'm wrong. I know they signed Lamar Stevens as a rookie just because, that Penn State rep, but it looks like the only pick they took in this draft was Isaac Okoro. I think a B's fair. I like Isaac Okoro a lot, and I think definitely was worth it. We're going to skip over the Mavs and the Nuggets. Zeke Naji was a good pick, though, and so was Josh Green. The Pistons with Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart and Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes, I've seen people say has actually been, a bad pick looking back on it because Tyrese Halliburton was there and Kira Lewis Jr. and Cole Anthony. I still think Killian Hayes has a really good ceiling. And I think, this injury has been unfortunate for him. And sometimes an injury can throw a player off, but if he can come back from it the way he was looking, I think he'll be a pretty promising player. And I think Detroit's probably the best place for him to develop his game, so I kind of see that pick as a dub. I think Isaiah Stewart was looked upon really poorly at the time, and I still don't think it's the greatest pick in the world. But he's been better than I thought he was going to be. Full credit to him. Just drafting an undersized center in 16 who can't shoot the ball, it just seemed a little odd. And then obviously Sadiq Bey, top 5, top 10 rookie of this year, easy. And they drafted him at number 19, technically, even though it was the Nets pick. I really think Sadiq Bey will be a really good NBA player. Don't know how long he'll stay with the Pistons, but So the Warriors, they took Nico Mannion, I know that. At 48, too. Wow, that is an incredible value pick. Justian, Jessup, and I believe that's it. And obviously, James Wiseman, kind of an important pick in this draft class. But I think James Wiseman has been a good fit for the Warriors. Obviously. And I think learning from Draymond Green would be extraordinarily helpful for any NBA player. And I think James Wiseman will definitely be a good starter for them. He kind of is already. I know Kevon Looney's been starting a little bit recently, but James Wiseman's a good player. As I make this video, I am getting ready to go watch the Sixers play the Warriors. I will be very sad if they do not win, because even without Embiid, the Warriors don't have Steph and Clay, so we should be much better. The Warriors got an A. I think that's a little generous, even though I do think Nico Mannion was a great value pick at number 48. I would probably give them more like a B+. The Rockets got a C+. They acquired Kenyon Martin in this draft, I know that. Has definitely been notable. The Rockets aren't a very good team. They just broke their 20-game losing streak, but just in terms of a role player that they picked up for very cheap, not a bad pick at all. And then the Rockets did not have any other draft picks. So a C+, I think that's kind of fair. I would maybe go a C even. The Pacers in this draft, Cassius Stanley, was a really interesting pick in the second round. Good value for money. I think Cassius Stanley is going to be... He could be a very solid bench contributor at some point soon. I'm not going to say he is already, but I don't think he plays that much, actually, I think he plays for the Rockets, obviously, a decent amount right now. I'm getting really confused. Right? Okay, so if you just saw that cut, it's because I just started speaking absolute nonsense, and I just decided to move on. So, we were talking about the Pacers, Cassius Stanley, and all that. So, I'm going to skip over a few teams. Desmond Bane was a good pickup for the Grizzlies. The Clippers used their assets well to get Luke Kennard. The Bucks, I honestly don't even remember what they did. They traded away R.J. Hampton, and then they drafted Jordan Nwora, and that's all they did. So honestly, I would give all those teams like a C. At least the Bucks and the Clippers, I would give a C. Clippers maybe a C+, because they did get good value back. Grizzlies, I would give B+, A-, because Desmond Bane has been a good steal from this draft. Precious Achiuwa has been a good player for the Heat, so that's another good pick. Timberwolves, I think Anthony Edwards, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of a hater on him in the beginning of the season. I shouldn't have been. Or not in the beginning of the season, more in the draft stages. He just reminded me way too much of Andrew Wiggins, but I think he's a little bit better than Andrew Wiggins. Not that Wiggs is a bad player, no disrespect intended, but he certainly was not the number one pick he was supposed to be. Pelicans with Kira Lewis and a few other players that I don't remember off the top of my head. Solid draft for them. The Knicks got a B-. I'm not going to lie, Obi Toppin has kind of been a dud. He's not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact that your number 25 overall pick is putting in way more work than your number, 4 or 5? Or no, 8. I'm totally off base there. But the fact that your number 25 pick is doing better than your number 8 overall pick probably makes me think you didn't make a very smart pick in number 8. Just because your number 25 overall pick, I'm actually a huge fan of, an Emmanuel Quickley. Good value, good player, and someone who I definitely slept on a little bit, because I think the Knicks should have taken Tyrese Halliburton at 8, because he was the best guard left, and I think he would have fit the Knicks really well. But Tibbs has got the Knicks playing really good basketball right now, so maybe there was something about Quickley over Halliburton that I'm not really taking into consideration, but I think the Knicks had a good draft, but I don't think Obi Toppin is my favorite player right now for the Knicks. The Thunder, and they get a B+. I think that's pretty good. I mean, Poku's a good pick. I can't think of any other Thunder that got drafted, even though I'm sure I'm missing some. Oh, Theo Maledon was a great pickup, especially for the value. I might not even be saying that right, actually, but apologies if I'm not. So I would say the Thunder had a pretty good window there. And the Magic, I would say drafting Cole Anthony, good value at number 15, obviously. I feel like I'm cheating in school off a cheat sheet, but like I literally have already exposed that I have my phone with me. I do not know all these things off the top of my head. Vit Krzyzewski at pick 37 also was apparently a Thunder player. Don't know if he's overseas or if he just doesn't play, but I think it was a good draft for the Thunder. I think a B is probably fair. And I think for the Magic, I would probably also go a B, because I don't think the Magic drafted anyone really other than Cole Anthony that is too noteworthy. Sixers got a B. I think we had a pretty good draft. I think Tyrese Maxey, in terms of value at 21, is really good. I think Isaiah Joe at 49 is really good. And I think Paul Reed at whatever it was, 58. I think B-Ball Paul, the G League MVP and Rookie of the Year, has been a steal, so can't complain there. The Phoenix Suns getting a D. I saw this one, and I kind of wholeheartedly agree with it. I don't think Jalen Smith is a bad player, but I don't think he has been up to the standard that they could have gotten at that pick. So Jalen Smith was drafted at 10, too. That's kind of a high pick. The Blazers got a C, Kings got an A, Spurs got an A. I think the Kings doing the best in this draft is very true. Jamius Ramsey, Tyrese Halliburton, both at incredible value. Really liked what the Kings did. The Spurs getting Devin Vassell, really liked that. I don't know if the Spurs got anyone else, to be honest, though. Trey Jones, I actually have watched a decent amount of clip on Trey Jones. I really like Trey Jones, so all once again why the Spurs should get an A. The Raptors getting a B+. Malachi Flynn was their main acquisition in the draft at a pretty decent value, and he's been a good point guard so far, so I would say a B+. The Utah Jazz at a C+. Elijah Hughes was officially drafted by them at 39. And they drafted Udoka Azubuike, who I think could be a good player pretty soon. And I don't know much about Elijah Hughes, but I've heard of him. So I would say a C+ is fair. And the Washington Wizards getting an A. I honestly believed that this was true at the time, but now I really don't think it is. I don't think Deni Avdija is quite the player I thought he was. I thought he was going to be like a tall Luka Doncic who could play some defense. I didn't think he was going to be the best player, but I thought maybe he'd be like a baby Luka who could play defense. And I'm not saying he still can't be that. These are all still rookies, but a little underwhelming. I would probably go a C+, B-, because I don't think he's, a write-off or anything by any stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to see if the Wizards had any second-round picks now, and they had Cassius Winston in the second round, who I don't think is bad value either. So a C+, B- is fair for the Wizards in my opinion. And as we get through this, so let's see what their main takeaways was, and then we'll probably be done with this article. They said Hornets add potential superstar, and I think he's still kind of looking like a potential superstar. Maybe not the greatest player that we've ever seen, like LeVar Ball might suggest, but I think LaMelo is definitely going to be a very good NBA player, probably an all-star if I had to take a guess. Kings stealing Tyrese Halliburton, even then they knew it was going to be a steal. Completely agree. Robert Woodard is also a player I'm pretty big on. He had a good G League campaign. And Jamius Ramsey, we know he's a very talented looking guard, so. And Vassell's a great fit in San Antonio. Completely agree. Also, Trey Jones being another steal of the draft at 41. He looks like a really good court general and just like a solid point guard. Someone who I think will fit Popovich's mold, definitely. And Devin Vassell is a really good 3-and-D player. And I think under Popovich he would definitely get a lot better. And then some really weird pictures at the bottom for sponsored content. So we're just going to scroll back to the top now because that was a little scary. But anyway, if you guys liked this video and want me to do more stuff like this, leave it down in the comments. Tell me what kind of articles, videos you want me to react to, and I can get it done. But anyway, that has been the video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.